Welcome back to Daytime. We have a resident author here. I would like you to welcome Thomas Ryerson to the Daytime studio. What an artist. He's a singer. He is a stand-up comedian, and he's a writer. I think you gave up on the other two and now are writing.
Well, I don't know if I've given up, but I'm changing. So I just don't want to make it sound like I do all three at once.
No, you don't. All your energies now. Look at this. 4 incredible books. Well, actually, I have 5 incredible books. You've been a busy man.
Yes.
We are here. We're going to talk a little bit about all of them if we can, but we're really going to talk about Fun City today. This is a cool book. Talk to me a little bit about this book. He's got some bizarre thoughts here. It's very interesting.
Fun City is basically set in 2061 after the Third World War, and the country of Canada is basically known as the UPC, which is a pun, of course, being in retail.
Yeah.
I think it stands for Unified People's Commonwealth. And it's a very government-run concept country, and the government assigns jobs, what people do in their life. And the book basically centers on a main character, Belinda Perry, trying to find her place in the world in 2061.
Wow.
So the book basically is about her finding what her mission in life is, what her goal, what her purpose. And it's basically a question you could ask these days.
Yeah.
But it was fun setting it in 50 years in the future.
Now that must have been a really creative exercise for you to think in pretty realistic terms. I mean, if you're too bizarre, people won't believe it, correct? Mm-hmm. So you had to become pretty real. What went through your brain as you were writing this to make it real?
I wanted to make the settings, like you say, real, but also add a little more of a futuristic feel to it. So I won't come over with a bleak setting. I have come from a great film influence, so I would use a lot of films as inspiration, like THX 1138, 1984, Logan's Run, just a bunch of futuristic movies that kind of show a bleak, productive but bleak society.
It's a bit depressing.
So, well, that's what it kind of is. I mean, Belinda works in a factory, like electronics factory, and just like a cog in a wheel.
Yeah, very robotic.
Yeah, and I mean, that's something that we can feel today too.
Yeah, is there a turn in the book? Can the reader anticipate some good news, or?
I don't think the reader will anticipate where the book goes, no.
Okay.
It kind of...
So you take us to somewhere unusual.
Yeah, well, Fun City is a slang term for what's called the New Outlook Center. And this is a place where people are taken when they get overwhelmed or depressed. The government takes them to this place and tries to get them rejuvenated.
Isn't that interesting?
And although it's called the New Outlook Center, it's referred to in slang as Fun City.
Fun City, and I'm wondering really how fun it is. Yeah.
You think it'd be a pun?
Yeah, I'm thinking now, knowing you a little bit, that this could be a little bit of a pun, a little bit of sarcasm here. You certainly have been busy over the last couple of years writing. You've got Castle Lake, 2 versions.
Yep.
And we have Travelogue, and then the one you're working on, this one's finished.
Yeah.
The one you're working on, tell me again, it's
April's Call.
April's Call.
Yeah.
And you just finished it.
Just finished actually today doing this, probably the 3rd draft.
Wow.
So I'll go through it one more time, and then it goes out to my editor, and then she'll have it for about 2 weeks. Comes back to me, and I take that manuscript and blend it into my main story and come up with a final story, and then I just basically commit it to the document and print.
How long does this whole process usually take for you?
Oh, the actual writing process is about 2 months.
Wow.
Where I sit and it's just intense writing.
Yeah.
Most of the books are older stories. Like for Fun City, I came up when I was 18, and the story just kind of lay dormant for a while.
Yeah.
And so I had a lot of things in my head when I went into it, and I made a lot of preliminary notes. So when I started writing the actual story, I knew where I was coming from. But
does that help with the process then, if you already have a lot that you're going to bring to it?
Yeah, what I like to do is I'll get an idea, and I'll put a bunch of things down on paper, and then save it and let it kind of, I say the ferment, I don't know if it'd be the right word, but
yeah.
Let it just grow and age.
I like that.
And that's what happened with Travelogue too, the second book, is since it took 10 years to write, things really evolved and grew and aged.
You know, I have a thought for you. I really would like to see you go to schools and help kids in grades 7 and 8 especially. And I say grades 7 and 8 because of the style of your writing. I mean, you would be such a tremendous resource to kids out there that have a talent. I mean, you know, you certainly could offer
That's
them
the thing,
a
it
lot.
needs to be nurtured. Like, I didn't even know I had the talent when I was young, 16 is when I started keeping notes.
Yeah.
I wanted to make films, being influenced by Spielberg and Lucas.
Yeah.
And so all my ideas originally were film ideas.
Neat.
So I wasn't even thinking of writing a book. I was thinking of writing scripts.
And isn't it true that often the book gets written first and then the screenplay's written? So who knows? Who knows where this could take you?
Yeah.
Right? One of your books could be into a screenplay.
And that was a big problem with Travelogue with the editor was I wrote it almost like a script where I'd have the character the character walks 10 feet, goes left, goes 5
that
feet.
was in your brain.
Well, it was in the book.
Yeah.
Because I wrote it like it was a script.
Isn't that something?
So the editor spent, we spent about a year editing the book just because we had to pull all that stuff out before we could work with the actual story.
What a process.
They used their left hand and picked up the cup that was on the, just too descriptive.
Yeah, and you just didn't realize it at the time.
Exactly.
It's a process.
So.
Okay, you've got great books. Where can we get your books?
The books are for sale at Merryfields here in Woodstock, and also from me myself. I think we're going to display the email and the website that I have.
Yes.
And I always have the books on me in my car, so if I see someone I know on the street, I'm always soliciting my work.
Oh, that's great. Now, a lot of people out there are Facebook lovers. You have a Facebook blog as well.
I have a Facebook group, yeah.
And what do they do? Look up Thomas Ryerson on Facebook?
Yeah, you could. If you're a member of Facebook, you would just search. The group's actually called Thomas Author Ryerson, and they would just look that up and join the group if they want. The group basically is a support, people who would support me if I needed to write a letter to the editor, and I got this cloud of...
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, and we've done that in the past. Not everyone owns my books or has read my books, but they kind of support what I'm doing.
Right. Well, and I guess if someone's out there and they don't know how to get a book, they could always contact you on Facebook.
Yeah.
You could write them back and let them know how to personally go
And
around.
that was the pun, too, because when I was actually... My full name's Thomas Arthur Ryerson.
Ah, is that funny?
But when my mom put the name on the birth certificate, she wrote it as author.
Did she really?
Yeah, and my dad caught it.
Isn't that, and did they fix it or did they leave it?
Yeah, my dad caught it and fixed it.
Isn't that...
But that's why my Facebook group's called Thomas Author, because that was
hilarious.
originally my middle name.
It's very futuristic. That is wild. So now when you're at home writing, are you one of these reclusive writers? Like, can anyone talk to you? Or are you like so focused with your coffee? And,
Yep.
Do you smoke?
I don't.
Okay, I picture that,
I actually quit
a
couple of years ago.
Oh, good for you. Just that whole aura of the writer, the smoke, and the don't talk to me. So it's really your passion.
I'm definitely in my bubble. But unfortunately, my bubble's in my dining room.
Yeah.
So the kids have to go upstairs.
But they probably get used to dad's in the mode and just
I've been doing this
away.
for 2 years now. It's been about 2 years of just sitting in front of my computer, Microsoft Word.
But Travelogue, it was published a little while ago. It took you 10 years?
It took me 10 years to write. It was published in July of '07.
Wow. So this is pretty recent.
But the original idea came in March.
And you said you got so many ideas in your head, you're going to just keep going.
Well, they're out of my head. I've read them. As soon as I get in my head, I write them down. I'll never forget.
But you may not get to it to make a story in a couple of years, but they're all there, which is brilliant.
Fun Cities from '82.
Yeah.
Castle Lake, the original idea was from '84.
Wow.
Travelogue, the original idea was from '97.
Good for you for not giving up on a dream.
Exactly.
A lot of people have these passions and dreams and then just say, oh, it's too hard. So good for you.
And I think that's what Fun City, actually, if there would be, and I don't know, a catchphrase, or it would be about following your dreams. If you have a dream, like in the book, Belinda wants to be a musician, and the government only sanctions certain people to be a musician, and so she gets stuck in a factory even though she wants to be a musician. And at Fun City, she finds a way to follow that dream to an extent.
Don't tell us.
No.
We got to read the book.
Yeah.
Thomas, you're delightful.
Thank
you so much. I've had such a good time chatting with you. And check out Merryfield's bookstores. His books are there. Check him out. He's a hard worker and he's got great ideas. So thanks for being here.